Welcome to our training today. This is a training on how to use mySD Hub, the online portal for viewing usage of your supports and services. The Hub was developed in partnership with Knapp Choice and Inclusa, and currently the Hub is available to Inclusa and iCare members. Now, before we get into the Hub itself, let's talk about what a service is and how we keep track of them. I'm going to start big picture. You may have heard this term before, budget authority. This is a core component of self-directed programs. It basically means that you have a responsibility to manage your services. A service is a structured support that meets your care goals. We'll be using this word a lot. If specialized services are needed to help you with your care plan, an authorization is created. This tells you how much of a service you're approved to receive. The important thing to recognize here is that services, as amazing as they are not unlimited. It's up to you and how you manage the amount of services that you get. Here's an example using apples. It's determined that you are going to get 30 apples a month. You are in charge of the apples and you can eat them whenever you choose throughout the month. That's that whole budget authority piece we're talking about. If you pace it out right, you have 1 apple a day for each day of the entire month. Now, let's say these apples are really good, and we decide to eat all of them in the first week. What will we have for the rest of the month? We won't have any apples left, at least not until the next month begins. Using your services works in a similar way. You choose how you want to use your services. So in keeping track of apples or services, there's a few things to keep in mind. First, these authorizations have a set amount of time with a begin date and an end date. When one authorization ends, another one begins, giving you that continuity of care. Second, services are measured in units such as hours, miles, or visits. Let's imagine how this might look written in a care plan. The service is apples. The service has a time frame which is 30 days, and we plan to have enough apples for 1 apple per day. So, what might this look like in a real care plan? Meet Olivia. She has a care plan for a care attendant that assists her with daily tasks for on average 4.5 hours a day. Remember that services are continuous, but they are packaged in these time frames. Olivia's current authorization is in place for 4 months. Olivia's care plan is 4.5 hours a day, which is written in her care plan as 139 hours per month. Now let's put this on a bar graph at 139 hours per month for 4 months. We have a bar graph of 556 hours. As Olivia uses her hours, that bar graph fills up. Now, just as we choose how fast or slow to eat the apples, Olivia can choose how her hours are used during this time frame. This is where we introduce mySD Hub. Now, I was just doing a lot of math in those examples. mySD Hub helps take that guesswork out of how you manage your services. On mySD Hub, all of your services already have that bar graph. We'll cover how you can log in a bit, but I wanted to show this to you first. Here's the bar graph we saw, similar to Olivia's, except this is for Mickey Mouse and the care service is companion care. You can see here the date range, the hours used, the hours remaining, and by clicking here on this little service window, we can see our list of services. Notice how the service names are in abbreviations? Let's quick break that down before we get deeper into the Hub. So, back to Olivia, let's add that service window that we saw in the Hub. And the service title actually tells us about the service itself. So, right there is the service SHC, which stands for Supportive Home Care. The service code provides the Knapp Choice team with just specifics about that service. The date range here tells us when the service began and when it ended. It's a duration of 4 months. It also tells us how much of the service we have at 139 hours per month. What's nice about the bar graph is that it automatically does the math for us and tells us the total is 556 hours. We're going to keep layering onto this. Let's add a time indicator on our bar graph. That's that little red line. We know Olivia estimates 4.5 hours a day. So after 2 months at 4.5 hours a day, the red line will estimate that she used 270 hours of time. But what did she actually use? We can look at the blue bar graph to find out. We see she actually used 340 hours. This is 70 hours more than estimated. Do you see what happened? Olivia has used more hours than estimated for this period of time. So how can seeing this be helpful for Olivia? Well, now she knows. If she keeps up this current pace, she may use up her hours before the time period is over. Seeing this helped Olivia in managing her care. She called her care manager right away, and they came up with a solution to stay within her budget. Now let's go back to the dashboard. The dashboard is your quick overview. You'll see the total number of services used and that detail graph. By clicking on the service window, you can see a list of our services. When we choose one, we'll choose this one here. The graph shows you that service we just clicked. The information you're seeing here updates the day after each pay date. The date's located down at the bottom left corner. Keep an eye on this as it doesn't update every day. It only updates after the service provider pay date, so your payday calendar will have these dates on it. Now when we scroll down from here, we can see the detail usage for the service. The date range defaults to the entire service period. This is more detailed than the one bar graph above. Here we see the usage for each month, and again that red line indicates that expected usage for each month. When I hover my cursor over October, notice that expected usage number gives me an estimated usage for that month, as well as the hours I actually used for that month. When I click on that bar, it zooms into that month, October 1st through the 31st, as we can see the date range there now. Same thing, if I hover over one of these bars, it's going to show me the hours I used. And notice again, the red line is now adjusted to show the expected usage for 1 week. And just like before, if I click on this week, it zooms in to show me just that week, October 22nd through the 28th. So by clicking through the chart, we can see service usage from service period, to month, to week, to day. And if we want to reset that and go back to where we were before, the little reset button here, clicking that is going to bring us back to where we started. So that covers our overview of this dashboard. And that's that home button right up here about the dashboard. We talked about the service drop-down window. We talked about the total service usage bar graph. And we talked about the detailed usage pane. Now onto the detail page. When I click this little calculator icon on the menu here, I get my list of services. This is that same list of services we saw in our drop-down window on the dashboard, except here it's in table format. If I select one of these services, let's say number 3, we get a payment history listing each payment made under that service. So number 3 is for mileage reimbursement. The payment type here is mileage. It was for 150 miles, and the driving happened on December 8th. The service provider was Chip, and Chip was reimbursed for mileage on this pay date. The time in and out, that doesn't apply to mileage right now. So just consider these numbers as placeholders. Let's look at one more. This is number 2, which is companion care. This is for hours of service. The pay type is regular. Usage here is in hours. The services were provided on these dates. This is where that time in and time out actually apply. We have several service providers listed. Let's focus on Gadget Hack Wrench. Gadgets payments for these dates of the services are listed here. This is the pay date we were talking about earlier. Notice the pay date is April 15th. I was saying earlier how mySD Hub helps take that guesswork out of how you manage your services. Now you can see how helpful this can be for you. Let's learn how we can log in to get started with mySD Hub today. Getting started is simple. If you are a Lori Knapp Choice member, you only need to create a login. Guardians and people with power of attorney should create their own login too. Before you begin, make sure you have internet access, an email address, and the member's social security number. To register, go to hub.loriknappchoice.com. You will be brought to the login page. Click Don't Have an Account. Enter your name and email address. Then create a strong password with at least 15 characters. And then retype that same password to confirm. After that, agree to the terms and conditions and the privacy policy to continue. Then click Register. Check your email for a verification message. It might take a few minutes to show up in your inbox. If you don't see it, be sure to check your spam folder. Click Verify Email to confirm your account. A new screen will pop up asking you about your role. Select Member, then select Continue as Member. This will take you to a new page where you can connect to the member's account. To complete your registration with mySD Hub, enter the member's social security number. Then enter it again for confirmation. Click Submit. Once you log in, you can use the menu on the left side of the screen to move through the portal. Congratulations! You are now logged into mySD Hub. Feel free to play this video again to go through those steps once more, or check out our support resources. If you're looking for support or more resources or someone to talk to, go to our website first. On hub.loriknappchoice.com, on that login screen on the top, there is going to be a little help button that's going to bring you to a website with a ton of resources on it for you. Second, you can email us at mysdhub@loriknappchoice.com and we'll email you back. And last but not least, you can call us on the phone at our 800 number at 844-534-7225. Now in this session, you've learned how to keep track of your services using mySD Hub. We covered how to navigate the dashboard and the detail page. Then we went step by step through how to create a login, and you have the website address to visit, and you know how to reach out for support if you have any questions. Thank you so much for attending this training. We hope you found this helpful in learning more about mySD Hub.